The K Jazz Show, Sundays on Kofifi FM 97.2.
This Sunday on the KJ Show, we welcome a young artist whose journey began in the brass bands of the church and since carried him, onto stages shared with some of the finest names in South African music. A trombonist, composer, collaborator, and storyteller, Thabone Masilela represents a generation of musicians honoring the foundations of our jazz heritage whilst fearlessly reimagining its future. And he joins us at a particularly meaningful moment as we celebrate the radio debut, in fact, of his brand new single, Song for Mama, a composition that speaks to love, sacrifice, gratitude, and the women whose quiet strength often shapes the soundtrack to our lives. And in Youth Month, this month, it is fitting that we welcome an artist who embodies both reflection and possibility, a musician deeply rooted in tradition, yet attentive to the new sounds, new ideas, and new directions emerging from South Africa's vibrant, jazz landscape. Kofifi FM, please welcome to the KJ Show, Thabone Masilela. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you for having me to the show, bro. Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure, and thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Let's start, Thabone. In the beginning, every musician has a story. Let's go back to you at 16 years old, with a trombone in the brass band. What was it about this instrument, and the music itself that first captured your imagination?
Well, I'm going to start where the trombone was in my hand, right? So I started playing at church, and my uncle was playing the trombone, actually. So I started playing euphonium, and then when I started playing trombone, my uncle was like, you know what, bro? I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to do it with you. And then that's when I took over and started, playing. I went to schools at the Music Academy of Gauteng to study, and that's when I got exposed to other, musicians and genre and, the whole music space and the industry. And yeah, from there onwards, it's been traveling, making music, writing more songs. And this one is a special one because it's a song that I first wrote. And when I first performed it, my mom was there, and of which it was my first show ever to be, hosted in Davidson. And yeah, this song is special for to me because the person that I wrote to also experienced us performing the song. So I was like, you know what, on her birthday, let it be, known that we really appreciate our mothers. It's not only for my mom, but also for other moms, raising their kids. We know how it's hard to raise kids, and this is me appreciating my mom and all the mothers out there.
Yeah. A truly special moment, And I want us to, talk about the Music Academy of Gauteng, which first introduced you to jazz standards and, of course, a wider musical universe. Let's go back to the moment, where jazz stopped being something that you were learning, but became something you felt you needed to dedicate your life to.
Well, jazz, to start where it began, I started listening to jazz at a very young age. My dad used to play Butaza, you know, Jonas Kwangwa, Bob Hugh. And obviously, as a young musician, I didn't know that I have the talent, but then I was like imitating and just, practicing their songs, singing. And then going to the school, like seeing the people, like, may his soul rest in peace, Ubab Joni Mekwa, like really helped me when I went to the school as well. And just shaped the person that I am today, because I started like playing at the big band. And to me, it was like, what's this music? And then when time went by at school, like trying to adjust, and then it came, I started feeling it, and then I started like emerging to being one of the, like seeing myself as one of the jazz artists. And trombonist, like, we have, I think this is, maybe they're gonna fight me, but then I don't think we have like a lot of trombonists coming out and making their own musician, like making their own music and like making a stand. We now have like, it's only a few of us. Like, I'm being motivated by the likes of Malcolm Gianni, Neo Mokhotsi, they are doing it out there. But I also wanted to be like the youngest, trombonist to come out and just put their trombone out there as well and continue where the elders left off.
I like the fact that you mentioned Jonas Gwangwa, and these are some of the people that you shared the stages with alongside Bosbongile Kumalo, Kaya Masa, many others. And to add to the conversation and to the list, Khaitin Godzi, trombone, Siamakuzi, trombone,
Yeah, trombone,
Looking back, what were some of the lessons, that those encounters with those that you've shared the stage with, taught you about musicianship, taught you about humility and artistic excellence?
Well, I'm going to start like preparing for rehearsals, because that's where everything starts. When we meet during the rehearsals, they will tell you like, respect the music, check the music, come like prepared to the music stand. And also like what I've learned, Mr. Braka said to me was like, just be you. Whenever you go out, just be you, stay authentic, like be true to yourself, and your music will be heard. It's going to like get to the right ears. And also professionalism also like made me the person that I am today. I've learned like from school, and because there's things that we are not being taught at school, like that we are taught on the streets. Like meeting Bokheti, I've played with Kheti, I've played with a lot of like jazz musicians. It's always like, be true to yourself, check the music, and just be approachable as well, because like you sometimes meet musicians who you can't even say hi to, and then they just told me, bro, just stay true, be you, be humble, respect the music. Yes.
Kofifi FM, we are in conversation with Thabone this Sunday. Of course, he is a trombonist and a collaborator, a storyteller out of the East Rand. And of course, we are in Youth Month for Our Africa this Sunday, and we're celebrating the biggest voices in the emergent jazz scene and the most electrifying jazz scene that we call it here in the city. And of course, you have the front row seat to the very best of the best, powered by Kofifi FM 97.2. Thabone, I want to talk about the composition of Song for Mom. A deeply personal composition. We touched it a little bit when we began the conversation, and you released it on your mom's birthday, mind you. Let's talk about the memories and experiences that inspired you, with this piece.
Well, it's very special, because I'm one guy at home who, whenever I have a problem, I would say, Mama. You want something, I would say, my mom. My mom, like it resonates, like there's emotions and tones we use to say mama. It's either we are crying, happy, sad. So this song like goes with the emotions of me, seeing my mom and expressing my emotions to my mom. And obviously like appreciating her, because like the bridge side, it's like, I'm just saying mama, whatever words would come after, I've just said mama, So it resonates with all the emotions, all the experiences that my mom had and I had together from growing up until now. Because my mom held me like strongly. She's been with me from my father passed on at a very young age, and then my mom would still be, with me, and she's still holding it strong even today. And the song is just me appreciating my mom and all the experiences that we've had together so far with my siblings.
Beautiful music on the KJazz show. This Sunday, of course, we're spending time with Thabone. He is all the way in the East Rand, and we're talking to him through Our Africa this Sunday, as we celebrate the best of Africans by Africans. And of course, we are also celebrating Youth Month, a time that asks us to think about legacy and the future. And Thabone, as a young South African jazz musician, how do you see, your generation contributing to the evolution of jazz while still respecting the traditions that came before? You mentioned earlier that, the interactions with the likes of Brakaya and so on have deeply, impacted how you are today. But what are you, as a young musician, contributing to the future of South African jazz, which is very bright, I must say?
Honestly, I'm fusing what I've learned from the elders with what I've just realized myself as well. So also like going out and seeing other cats playing music, jazz music, it's like they're infusing sounds, like fusion. Like we have jazz, like jazz standards, but now people are coming with a new soul jazz. Like jazz is growing, jazz is being like exposed to what we, the new generations, are seeing jazz and hearing jazz and feeling jazz as is. So for me, the future and the new generation of jazz are doing a good job by coming out there and still taking what we've learned from the elders and bringing it up, also fusing it with the new sounds that we have. Because my music as well is jazz, but it's a fusion of funk, pop, but it's still in the how can I say it? Like it's still in the bubble of jazz. Yeah, it's still jazz. Yeah, isn't like the song for Mama? It's in the swing.
Yeah,
but still you can feel like the modern sound of it as well.
And I'm particularly interested to hear about, if you can, anyway, no pressure, if you can, I'm particularly interested to hear about the entire plot. Where are we going with this music? Are you currently writing, the project? What does that look like?
Well, I'm currently like, we recorded the project, but we're still like, releasing music. And for me, it's writing music is also like being part of, because I write music almost every day, but then, songs change now and then. And it's also like going to build people, because there's a song where we started, let's say, Vulana Masango, and then doors open, because we've asked from the elders, to be where we are today. And then now, the song for Mama, it's going to be, a build up for messages that we go through, messages that we relate to. And like the likes of Brahu, they wrote about the struggle, they wrote about our political system, they wrote about a lot of things. I'm going to write my side of the music, is writing about my feelings, my experiences, and of which wherever is experiencing the same thing, and then I would touch the person and would feel the music with me. And with jazz, it's going to be like part of us. It's going to be part of my music. It's going to be part of the culture as a whole in South Africa as well.
And speaking of culture, many jazz musicians today are blending amapiano, house, hip hop, indigenous sounds, and contemporary influences. Do you see this experimentation as the future of South African jazz? And I know this is a very, very awkward question for me to ask you, but hey, you and I are friends.
Well,
where do you see yourself? Maybe. Okay, before you answer, where do you see yourself in this conversation?
Well, I've also merged my jazz playing into amapiano. So I would say South African music is gonna like blow up, and it's gonna be big, because we are doing our root music, like jazz music. We can have mpacanga, in the amapiano. I'm sure you've heard maybe songs like that. So it's, for me, the evolution and the collaboration would make a great impact in the music industry as well. Like jazz would be, us jazz musicians, as we are called, jazz musicians, have an advantage that I can remix my song to a house song, and then if you want to hear the original, you can still go to the jazz side. So us collaborating, I think it's gonna be. It is actually a good thing, because it's happening already. Yeah.
Let's talk about your inspirations. Aspirations. Who do you still want to work with? Who's on your wish list? When it comes to jazz music that you want to feature on the project.
Well, I would like, maybe I'm too ambitious, but then
there's no such thing.
I would like to have a project. Yeah, I would like to have a project with Babu Ntutuzo Makatini. I would like to work with Ndabo Zulu, Lindas Kakane, Like there's quite a lot of artists that I'd like to work with, and obviously like we've met on the bandstand, but then to have a project on like together, I would really love to have like project with the ones that I've mentioned, and also there's other artists that I would like to collaborate with.
Well, fortunately, they're all friends of the Cajas, so you don't know. It might just happen. Be careful what you wish
Yeah,
for.
for sure.
When historians look back 20 years from now, Thabone, what do you hope that they will say about the contribution, your contribution, particularly, to South African music, and what kind of legacy? Because I know you probably thought about, what happens after the music. What kind of legacy are you hoping to build, from this point forward?
Well, I want to share the knowledge that I have with others. So I would started teaching already, but I want to like do it more and have my own institution where I could teach the history and the music that we grew up with and fusing it with the new music that we have now. I would like to like make more artists grow and being themselves, and also like respect the space that we are in, because it's a very small space yet big. So I would like, because we have different characters as well. So I would I would advise one to just stay humble, and just respect the music, and everything will go on and be fine. So my contribution would be teaching the up and coming youngsters to stay relevant and be the good musicians and people who would look, forward to, would look up to,
Yeah. Passing the baton is his call to action, I suppose, and also the true authenticity of a musician. Staying true to oneself is also one of the themes that we've explored in this conversation, and we are also reminded that jazz is not just about improvisation, virtuosity, or performance. At its heart, jazz remains a language of memory, a language through which we honor those who carried us, who nurtured us, and believed in us long before the applause arrived. And in the song for Mama, Thabone offers us more than a composition. He offers gratitude, set to melody, love translated into sound, and a reminder that some of life's most profound stories are told often, without a single word being spoken. Of course, we're celebrating Youth Month this Sunday and every other Sunday until the end of June, and his journey stands as a testament to the exciting future of South African jazz, and it is shaped by young musicians who understand that, the music comes from where the music comes from, and yet possesses, the courage to imagine where it can go. Thabone, thank you, my friend, for joining us this Sunday, for sharing your story and a beautiful tribute with us. And we wish you every success with the release of the song, A Song for Mama. And I also look forward to witnessing, the next chapter, of your artistic journey. Of course, this has been Our Africa. And this is where the stories behind the music are just as beautiful as the music itself. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me to the show. It's been great. Thanks for allowing me to share my experiences and growth. I wish my singer would make good and people get to the right ears. Sorry.
It shall do. It shall. Of course, he is a trombonist, composer, collaborator, and storyteller. His name is Thabone Masilela, and he was on the K-Jazz Show.